In this video, I cut open a battery, I replace some thermal paste, and I break a computer. This 2009 MacBook cost me £3 Great British pounds, and it didn't come with a battery or a hard drive. Today we're going to see if it will turn on, and if it's even still usable 16 years later. There are no bottom screws, or hard drive and battery. And also, when you open it, you might notice that they're a bit cracked there, which I don't remember if it works or not. I brought this about 2 years ago before I made this channel. So let's shove a hard drive and, well, a battery in, and let's see if it works. I haven't got any spare SSDs laying around, so I mean we're just going to use this. I've stuck some fragile tape to the bottom so it won't come out when we tip it upside down. Shove it there. I think macOS is already installed on this. I also haven't got a 2009 MacBook battery, so this is from a 2012 MacBook, and I mean the connectors look like they'll fit, so we'll just shove that in. The only problem with this is it doesn't really fit down here, so we might have to sort of grind this stuff off. We'll see what happens. Put that on like that. I think this is as good as we're going to get it. It also didn't come with a charger. And now, let's open the thing. Is it going to turn on? It turns on. Let's see if it'll boot into that hard drive. I mean, so far, it looks like it'll work. It is a bit slow, though. I mean, probably because there's a hard drive in it, but is it going to load? Oh, and we've loaded. You know what? The display doesn't actually look that bad. Can't see any dead pixels on it. Let's see what's on it. Oh, it's a Core 2 Duo with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Wait, I think this is the same as this Mac. Oh. Well, something's happened. Hopefully I think the display cable's come loose because you can still see the display, but there is no backlight. Well, don't say I broke it already. The video's just started. Right, let's unplug the battery and plug it back in. Let's reseat the display. I think we've just knocked the display cable. Right, we're just going to reseat this. There we go. Right, display's back on. Let's try not to move it round because the battery. Put that in and let's see if it turns on. There we go. Right, we fixed the issue. Okay, it just turned off it. Oh no, it's boot looping. Oh, wait, it stopped. Have we fixed it? Let's just say we fixed it. This has got the same specs as this, because if I go in this one, yeah, Core 2 Duo, I think it's got the same graphics as well. So let's wait for this to load. Let's not try and move it around as much as we did. I think when this was new, I think this only came with 2 gigabytes of RAM, so someone's been in here and upgraded. Well, I mean, obviously someone's been in here. There's no bottom screws, but someone's been in here and upgraded it. Why is it? Is there? Oh, if we actually just broke it, it looks fine. Should we? You know what? Let's upgrade the RAM. Let's not worry about it not booting. Let's just give it more RAM. That might be the issue. So this, I've never heard of them before, but this is a 4 gigabyte stick. I've got another 4 gigabytes here. This probably won't fix it, but you never know. Come on. Alright, now it has to work because it's got more RAM. I mean, it probably won't, but you know, you can only hope. I think it might actually. Wait, we fixed it. Why is it always the RAM? Every time a computer doesn't work, I change the RAM and it starts working. 8 gigabytes of RAM. We fixed this thing. The Intel Core 2 Duo. Oh wait, no, this is slightly slower. But if you look at the graphics on this one, and look on the graphics on this one, they're the exact same, but this one's just a mobile version, so it would probably be a lot slower. The trackpad surprisingly works, even though it does lift up. It clicks nicely as well. I think these ones are made from frosted glass. So this thing ain't that bad. Let's turn this thing off. Now we're going to try and fit this battery into this body by just cutting some bits off here. Hopefully there's no lithium stuff under there or any logic boards, but by the looks of it, it looks like it's only in this section, so I mean we should be fine just cutting that off. We're going to use these things. I mean it probably won't work. Might have to resort to a file, but how are we going to do this? Should I just use a knife? Come on. I need a Dremel. Should we mark out where we need to cut, or should we just go for it? I found some smaller clippers. It's doing the job. Oh, is this it? Right, I might have to say don't try this, like whatsoever. There's literally a battery right under there. All I need to do though is take this plastic bit off and then we should be good to go. Oh, I don't know where that's gone, but you know what, we're getting Let's just trim it. Alright, I'm making sure not to get too close to the battery whilst doing this. So I just need to cut. I'm just going to scratch where I need to cut it up to. Oh, there we go. Made a little small hole. So the tactic is make a hole and then just widen it. So, whoa. I didn't think it would be this easy to do this. I thought this might have been like full of hard plastic, but I think we just have to trim this bit off and then we should be able to slide in pretty much all this corner off. There we go. Right, we've made a little incision. This shouldn't affect the performance of the battery, but it might cool it down a bit better. I've got plastic shards flying everywhere in my room now. There's literally nothing in here now. So I'll just trim all this off. You know what? It sort of worked. Right, we just need to trim more off. Alright, we're going to try and trim more off this one. We'll go from there. If this battery is bigger than the original one that's in here, then we've got a battery mod you can do. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it, but you could do this battery mod. I might just take this whole chunk of plastic off. Actually, is it in the way? Which one of these are in the... I think this one's in the way. Alright, that can... Wait, hang on. Alright, we can almost fit it. We just need to trim some more off this one. Now this thing's in the way. I think we just need to snip this whole thing off. Does this count as a retrofit? Oh, almost there. Ah, I think I've just stabbed myself. Wait, come on. Now we're flush. Let's shove this cable in. I don't think the bottom cover is going to go on though. Yeah, look at that. If we had the screws and we just screwed that down, there might be a bit of a lump at the bottom, but it's pretty much flush except this bit here is a bit raised. All right, now we've got the battery secured in there. Actually, is it secured? Nope. It came off. You didn't see it, but it's all working. Oh, the display's not quite 1080p, but close enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it for a bit, and then we'll be right back. So I've just been using it for about an hour. I've been on Microsoft Teams and done all that stuff. You can't get the Teams app, but you can get it on the browser. So most apps are unsupported from this thing. We should be able to get a new macOS version. Should we try and put macOS Sonoma on this thing? Might have to get Open Core Legacy Patcher first. Well, I forgot to say, but when running Teams, fans were on full blast. It was a bit slow, but then once the actual Word document loaded, you can edit it quite nicely. Once that's installed, we'll be right back. Alright people, so it's just finished installing. I mean, as you can see, I do have like 5 more of them because I tried to get it to run on that thing. Oh yes, alright, so let's build and install Open Core. Shove it onto disk. Oh yes, I did install a macOS Sonoma installer on this thing because I have another iMac and I couldn't really find a USB stick. So what we're going to do is we're going to get an external hard drive enclosure for this and we'll be right back. So I found my external hard drive enclosure. We're just going to shove this in here. So what we need to do now is plug this back in when you shut it down. Now let's boot it up and then hold down Command. Did I hold down the right thing? And hold this one. It's one of these you have to hold. I don't remember which one it was. There we go. Alright, so now we want to boot into that. And then install macOS Sonoma. I wouldn't recommend running this on macOS Sonoma, but if you are going to do this, at least put an SSD in. This is just running off a hard drive, so all we have to do is just wait for this to load and we'll be right back. I think it's telling me to connect a mouse because my trackpad stopped working. So we're just gonna take the one out of this Mac and then just shove it in the side of here. Oh, is it not recognising the mouse? Alright, so I kind of forgot to turn my mic on during this part of the video, so I'm just going to voice over what I think I would have said. Whilst using this computer, I've noticed that the fans have been on full blast, so what we're going to do is we're just going to shut it down, then we're going to open up the backside, and then just replace the thermal paste. This time we're not using toothpaste, we're going to use some actual proper stuff. Also, when I was using this to run Microsoft Teams, it was going at about 90 degrees. The thermal paste probably hasn't been replaced before on this thing, so we might as well start now. First of all, we have to disconnect this battery. Now we need to unplug all the connectors that we can see, so we don't accidentally yank them out with the motherboard. Right, I'm just going to use this spudger thing to take this connector off, because I couldn't really get my finger in there. Oh, there we go, it's off. Right, let's take these RAM sticks out, if this one will even come out. There we go. There's a couple more connectors down here that I missed. There we go. I think this one's the right bit. Let me just shove this on. Oh, nope. Alright, it's not. Here we go. I think we've got it this time. Yes, there we go. Unscrew this fan. So this fan should be held on with 3 screws. So there's one down here. There's one on this side. And then there's a screw underneath this cable. So let's just bust that out. Try not to round it off. There we go. Now we can take this fan off. And is the motherboard ready to come out yet? Nope. Okay, it's held on by this plastic thing. Forgot to disconnect the keyboard. Can we jiggle it out? Alright, yeah, no, we probably have to take this off. Oh, I missed a connector here. that wouldn't have been good. Now, hopefully, we should be able to... Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh, to be fair, the heatsink's quite big on this. Compared to the 2012 MacBook, I mean, the older heatsinks are bigger. Now we just unscrew these screws, and then hopefully we won't break anything. Alright, so now all the screws are off. We should just be able to... Oh, look at that. That thermal paste is quite crusty. I mean, look, I'm literally just breaking it off with my finger. Now, I haven't got any rubbing alcohol or anything, so I'm just going to wipe it off with a tissue. I mean, I know... Oh... Well, it's just... Is that paint? I think we've just chipped off, like, the coat in there or something. Probably because it got too hot. I don't know. And let's do the same for the GPU. Right, we should also rub down this heatsink. I mean, we could run it under the tap, but I don't really want to wait for it to dry, so... Alright, so now it's time for the good part. And we can take off our thermal paste lid. There we go, look at that. First ever time using thermal paste on the Concept YouTube channel. And then, there we go, that's literally all you have to do. And now we can just shove this heatsink back on. Let me just put it on gently first. Before we push it on, we're just going to get a screw in there so we can sort of line everything up. And then, let's put this one in. This MacBook's going to run nice and... I was going to say cold, but they don't really run cold, do they? Alright, now we're just going to push it on. I mean, you're probably not meant to do that, but now what we're going to do is we're going to tighten it in a crisscross pattern. I mean, you can probably see me doing it here now. Alright, so now, yeah, there we go. I mean, I don't really think we need to put that back in, but now that's out, we have enough room to shove our motherboard back in. Alright, yeah, let's just make sure we don't crush any of these cables. And then there we go. All we have to do now is just jiggle it in, and then hopefully... it should be able to line itself up. Now we can shove this plastic thing back on. No, we don't really need, but we're going to put it on anyway. Put these screws back in. Alright, now we can screw this fan back in. Wait, where's my cable for this one gone? Hang on, I think I see it. I might have to fish it out. Got a feeling it might break. There we go, look at that. Now we can put the screw back in. Alright, so now that's in, we can literally just connect up everything. And now we can put the RAM in. Let's put the green one at the bottom because it doesn't look as nice. Alright, so now they're in, we can get our modded battery. Just shove that in there. I mean, it's all together. Should we see if it turns on? Let's shove the back plate on there. 3, 2, 1, on. And there we go. I've tried to download macOS Sonoma on it like about 3 times now, and it keeps doing that mouse error. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can shove Ventura on it instead. Alright, so it's found a list of them. I mean, we're not going to go with Sonoma because we've tried that and it just... so we're going to try Ventura instead. May not be fully supported, you might laugh. I don't think this is going to work because they don't have USB 2.0 port. Can we do... at least do Monterey? Yes, right, we're downloading. So after waiting for 3 hours, it was fully installed. Now it was time to boot up the MacBook and install macOS Monterey. After pressing a few buttons and waiting for this to install, I installed it to the disk. Alright, so now we're at this stage. This MacBook has a full version of macOS Monterey on it. And to be honest, it actually runs quite well. It is a bit sluggish, but maybe that's because there's a hard drive in there. I also tried it on Teams for like half an hour, and I mean, it was pretty much the same performance as what it was last time. But now we've got Monterey on here, we can launch Geekbench. If you don't know what Geekbench is, it's basically a benchmarking program. So we're going to run the CPU benchmark and the GPU benchmark. Let's see if it's any good. Right, for the CPU benchmark, I'm expecting 3 figures. I don't even think we're going to see 1,000 on here from multi-core. So all we have to do now is just wait for this to finish. It's genuinely been half an hour since I started this benchmark, and... yeah, that's quite bad. For the time, it was probably good, but, I mean, you got a single core score of 290 and multi-core score of 459, so let's try the GPU. Oh wait, can I even do the GPU? I don't think I can do the GPU. Alright, so I mean, using this thing, it's actually quite good. I mean, it's a bit slow loading because you got your hard drive in, but it is also quite loud. Also, forgot to mention, I found some button screws that fit it. There is one missing though, but I mean, other than that, should you get one of these? Well, probably not, but if you're only using it for Microsoft Teams and emailing, then you know what, why not, as long as it's cheap enough. So thank you people for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you later. Transition.